Wait, so you're telling me in the future, people just stare at a little box all day, inside and outside?
And in the future, you don't even own the music, you just pay every month to borrow it? Like, if you stop paying, the music just disappears?
Wait, so before people eat, they take a picture of the food and show strangers? And the strangers like and comment on it? So in the future, everyone has their own phone and they use it to type messages instead of call? And if someone calls you without typing it first, it's considered rude? So you're telling me in the future, people just post their diary for everyone to see?
Some people get paid for it.
For their diary? And in the future, a little box just tells you where to go, turn by turn, and people still get lost? If you want food from a restaurant, you just tap the box and a stranger brings it to your door, and you pay extra for that, and then you rate the stranger? Our moms always say don't talk to strangers, but in the future, everyone just talks to strangers all day on the little box and shows them their house and their kids? So in the future, nobody ever just sits with the quiet? Like ever? That sounds really exhausting. In the future, everyone's connected to everything, and people are still lonely? Okay, but do we at least still stay outside until the streetlights come on?
Now, I love how they actually present this video as it's some sort of, like, feed my starving children, you know, those sad late-night commercials where they have those, like, starving dogs and cats, and you have to donate a couple dollars, and they'll send you a t-shirt. It's kind of what it looks like, but I do kind of appreciate that sort of sentiment, because we do kind of have this sort of nostalgic back in the day before technology has ridden society, and some of you guys watching this, some of you old heads, you still remember this lifestyle. I'm Gen Z, I'm a little over the age 26. So I've lived the majority of my life with technology. YouTube, which we're watching this video on, has been the majority of my entertainment throughout my, my adolescence, my upbringing, pretty much the entirety of my adulthood. So everything I know is through these online means, whether that's the propaganda-based media or overall maybe the trustworthy news sites, which please feel free to let me know down below in the comments if there's any such thing as a trustworthy news site. But do you personally feel like that past generations had it better? Do you feel like some generations, especially ones in modern day, they've got, pretty much birthed out of the womb with an iPhone in hand. They can't even imagine what it'd be like without, short form content or having something to constantly scroll, give us dopamine. Think about how much time throughout your day you actually spend staring at a screen. An alarm clock wakes you up, a screen. You're probably doing some sort of your automated coffee machine in your kitchen is probably making you stuff, might have a screen. Your car might have a screen, many do these days. Then you spend the majority of your day, if you live in a desk job, or even many places who don't, even factories, they have screens they deal with to work certain machinery, or overall, if it's an online type of job. Then also think about you come home and you spend your entirety of your relaxation time, your free time, on a screen, whether that's your phone or TV or something of the sort. It's not, now, if you're not doing this, you're definitely one of the small few, but it feels like that the majority of us are spending all of our time giving away our attention to these organizations that are kind of profiting off of this. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. So do you think this is something that's getting worse off? Which generation are you in? What tax bracket are you in? Feel free to leave your personal thoughts, opinions down below. And I want to give a huge shout out to the handful of you guys. Check out those links down below. Always goes a long way. Shout out to you.
My main mission now is to warn people how dangerous AI could be.
Did you know that when you became the godfather of AI?
No, not really. I was quite slow to understand some of the risks. Some of the risks were always very obvious, like people would use AI to make autonomous lethal weapons. That is, things that go around deciding by themselves who to kill. Other risks, like the idea that they would one day get smarter than us and maybe would become irrelevant, I was slow to recognize that. Other people recognized it 20 years ago. I only recognized it a few years ago that that was a real risk that was might be coming quite soon.
Now, some people believe that there's been this like higher edge of society that is trying to plan our downfall, kind of treating the majority of society, the majority of the population, you and I, the community, like cattle. And they don't really necessarily want us to die, but they don't want us to necessarily thrive either. They don't want us to see the echelon of society, how it really feels like to live on the top edge of life. But they also want us to be as, confused and distracted as possible. So when you look at any single news site, there's going to be more negative headlines versus positive headlines. You'll see the recent wars going on. We'll constantly have more wars, constantly, providing more tax dollars. It's all about the money. It's all about the negativity. It's all about the drama. And that's what we strive off of in modern day. And this has always been the case. I think if you look back, even throughout all the history books, which if you want to have a whole other video about that, we can probably have a whole other video about that. That's also propaganda-based media, I think, as well. I think the whole education system kind of brought us up to create workers, not free thinkers, especially on the West, which is what the entirety of the West is supposed to be built on. Is a society supposed to be a free-thinking society? I don't know. But either way, do you personally feel like that technology is a whole sentiment to rule society, to ruin us, to kind of dumb down our brains? What do you think? Do you think it's working?
What happens if the government issues digital currency?
There will be no privacy, and it's a very effective controlling mechanism by the government. All the transactions will be known, all transactions done with digital currencies, which is good for illegal activities, getting control of illegal activities, but it also means that the government has a great deal of control. For example, they can tax that way, they can take your money, they can establish foreign exchange controls. Let's say if you're a Frenchman and they wanted to have sanctions, they could take your money.
And if you're politically disfavored, you could be shut off.
Politically disfavored, you could be shut off, yes.
Now, it's one thing to have the majority of your life be through a digital screen, whether that's your entertainment, whether that's how you communicate with your loved ones or anybody across the world, which is kind of a blessing to be able to do that these days. There are some benefits, not saying it's all downhill, but it definitely is a lot of security security breaches, being that they can listen to us, watch us anytime they want, and you know damn well that they will do so if they see any reasons to fit, whether that's what you govern acceptable or they do. But once they start breaching into this digital currency realm, it's something that you can't really avoid. You can kind of avoid being on your phone. You can not download a Facebook or a TikTok account, or hell, maybe avoid YouTube and watch the news, which is maybe just as worse, if not, this is maybe just as bad, if not worse. But eventually, with digital currency coming into play, with these governments investing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these big, blockchains, it might be inevitable for you to have to kind of invest in these and indulge in these. And with the majority of people actually having most of their funds on credit cards, if you actually apply for many jobs, they'll have you do these direct deposit types of means to get your paychecks. You're already kind of paying through a crypto-esque theme. When was the last time you had real physical cash in your hand, and at least the majority of your paycheck? How many of your bills do you pay with cash? Probably just about none of them. Now, is technology the start of the downfall of society? If you look at the majority of the movies, the media, and overall the mass, propaganda that we've seen over the last few years, the last few decades, technology, AI, the overall media is meant to destroy us. And it seems to be doing so. It seems to be kind of coming into that direction sooner than later. Now, do you personally feel like, just by which generation you're from, which tax bracket you sit in, have you been seeing this play amongst the masses? Or is this also some sort of propaganda, conspiracy theory that's kind of being, driven amongst the internet conspiracists like myself, and maybe even you? Anyway, if you are one of us, feel free to leave your personalized opinions down below in the comments. I want to give a huge shout out to a handful of you guys check these videos daily, and the even smaller handful of you check out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support the discussion-based content that we try to provide here daily amongst the channel. It's kind of all I got for today, and I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next one. God bless.